Hello all. Yeah, last class we had discussed about essential amino acids. I hope you people had remembered that things. Yeah, this is the third lecture in the series of the nutrition classes. Yeah, so I will have a just we will just have a recap on the last lecture. Okay, so last class we had discussed about what are the essential amino acids, and we had elaborated discuss about the nitrogen balance. So, what is a positive nitrogen balance? What is the negative nitrogen balance? I hope you people remember the things. Okay, and we had discussed about the quality of proteins, and then we had discussed about how we can assess the quality of the proteins and what is it RDA definition for RDA, and sixth one is nothing but we had seen about energy requirements, and seventh one is nothing but factors affecting energy expenditure. These are the seven topics what we had seen in the last lecture, and today we will be discussing about the another subtopics like what is a BMR, what is SDA, what is balanced diet, and then diet plans for CVD patients, and what are the nutritional disorders which we came across. We will be seeing all these five important topics in today's lessons. Yeah, yeah. Number one is nothing but a BMR. So, what is BMR? As we all know, and before proceeding into this, this is the most important short answer question. Make a note of it, and then yeah, we'll move. What is BMR? BMR is nothing but basal metabolic rate. Basal metabolic rate. So it's an energy expenditure necessary to maintain basic physiological functions. So, as we all know, what are the basic physiological functions? So it includes that activity of the heart, the respiration, yeah, the conduction of nerve impulses, okay, yeah, the conduction of nerve impulses, ion transport across membranes, yeah, and then reabsorption in the kidney and metabolic activity, okay. uh, so I will repeat. So this is the most important short answer question. BMR is energy expenditure which is necessary to maintain the basic physiological functions. As we all know, what are the important basic physiological functions? These are all the most important physiological functions. And then now the definition for BMR. So definition for BMR is nothing but, so it is defined as the energy expenditure at rest, comma, awake, okay. So when we are rest and awake, okay, but it includes, but you should not consider about not during sleep, right? So I will repeat, it is defined as energy expenditure at rest, comma, awake. So but not during sleep, okay. So in a thermoneutral, you can ask me what is a thermoneutral is nothing but, so that will be like, we will not, I mean, we will be saying it is not too cold or too hot. It will be like some warm environment. Okay, it's nothing but thermo neutral. Okay, it seems like somewhat warm nature. Okay, clear. So and then, so in the warm environment, 8 to 12 hours after the last meal. So in the warm environment, 8 to 12 hours after the last meal, and 8 to 12 hours after any significant physical activity. I will repeat. So it is defined as the energy expenditure at rest, awake, but not during sleep. You should not consider during the sleep. Okay. So in a thermoneutral warm environment. Okay. So that means, yeah, warm environment about 8 to 12 hours, 8 to 12 hours after the last meal, and 8 to 12 hours after any significant physical activity. Okay, Okay, and then you can we will just look into the factors affecting BMR, which includes now one is nothing but gender or sex. So how the gender or sex affecting the BMR? Okay, because of the body I mean, yeah, muscle mass. Okay, so just look into this. The BMR of the male is slightly higher than that of females. Okay, and second one is nothing but like age factor. Because of the age factor, right? A BMR, I mean, because of the age, this BMR will be affected more. So, decline in BMR with increasing in age. Okay, it will be like negative correlation. One will be increasing, one will be decreasing. Okay, when the age gets increase, the BMR will be getting decrease. This is what this one shows. So decline in BMR with increasing age. Okay, how is probably related to loss of muscle mass when we are going when we are getting old, right? So what happens where muscle mass will be lost? Okay, so and then replacement of muscles with adipose tissue that has the lower rate of metabolism, because as we are young the metabolism will be more. As we are getting older, what happens, the metabolism will be lower. So this is the reason behind this. Okay, and third one is nothing but nutritional state. So okay, so what is a nutritional state? So how we are intaking the food. For example, if you are in the starvation, it will affect the BMR. This is what they are saying. Okay, so BMR is low in starvation and undernourishment as compared to well-fed states. So BMR is low in starvation. Okay, so if you are in the starvation, BMR will be lower, and if you are in the undernourishment condition, what happens? So when you are comparing with the starvation condition with the undernourishment condition, BMR will be more or less in case of starvation condition. Okay, when you are comparing with this undernourishment condition with the fed state, undernourishment condition will be like, will be showing the more effect on BMR. Okay, and third one is nothing but body size or surface area. Okay, how it provides water load, already we had seen the metabolism in previous points. So how that BMR will be affected by that metabolism. So this is a case behind this. So the BMR is directly proportional to the surface area of the subject. Okay, and fourth point is nothing but body composition. So the BMR is proportionate to lean body mass is nothing but LBM. Make a note of it. The body composition, the BMR is proportionate to lean body mass. Okay, clear. So it's nothing but LBM. And the final one is nothing but hormonal state or endocrinological state. What it does, as we all know, hormones play a vital role in the body. So for example, thyroid hormones which provides a vital role in case of BMR. As we had seen, it is having thermogenic effect over there. Okay, in hyperthyroidism the BMR is increased, and in hypothyroidism it will be decreasing. How? Because the effect of hormones in the metabolism, up to 40% will be decreased. Up to 40% of the BMR will be decreased. Okay, due to that, what happens if the metabolism is lower? Okay, so what happens due to that? So BMR will be reduced. If the BMR will be reduced, what happens? So because metabolism not taking place properly, so that may leads to weight gain. Okay, and then next point is nothing but environmental temperature or climate. Environmental temperature or climate. What is a reason behind this? How it affects? So in colder climate, what happens? So if you are taking that person's BMR in colder climate, right, that will be high when you are comparing with the tropical climate's BMR. Why? Because BMR is proportionally low. Okay, okay. Why? Due to stress, anxiety, and disease states. If you are having any stress, anxiety, any diseases, BMR will be lower. Okay, because it is directly proportional. Okay, yeah. And then in case of the colder climate, BMR will be higher. Okay, in case of colder climate the BMR will be higher, and then in the tropical climates BMR will be lower. Make a note of it. In the colder climate BMR will be higher, and in tropical climate BMR will be lower. So and then during stress, anxiety and disease states, okay, so due to that what happens, so BMR will be increased, and then in case of fever, cancer also the BMR will be increased. And finally, when we are intaking drugs, for example, if the person is smoking, if the person is having coffee addiction, if the person is having tea, because coffee is having caffeine, smoking, if you're smoking cigarettes, that will be having nicotine, and then tea will be having theophylline. So these are the things which will be keep on increasing the BMR. Clear? Okay, shall we move to the next slide? Okay, so what are the normal values of BMR? BMR values are expressed as kilocalories. Okay, so how? So kilocalories to which part? To which level? So kilocalories per square meter of body surface per hour. Okay, kilocalories per square meter of body surface per hour in adults. Okay, so we can look into the normal BMI levels for healthy males and healthy females. Healthy males will be having 40 kilocalories per square meter per hour. I had said no. So BMI values are expressed as kilocalories per square meter of body surface per hour in adults. Okay, in adults a BMI for healthy male will be about 40 kilocalories per square meter per hour. For healthy females it will be about 37 kilocalories per square meter per hour. Okay, these are the most important two things they will be asked in the they will be asking in the MCQs. And then this means the total caloric expenditure in 24 hours to complete basal state is like 1800 kilocalories for adult males. Okay, in 24 hours. Okay, the caloric expression, that means we are saying, right, for healthy males 40 kilocalories per square meter per hour. For healthy female that will be about 37 kilocalories per square meter per hour. Okay, this means the total caloric expenditure, okay, in 24 hours to complete the basal state. Okay, so basal state is 1800 kilocalories for adult males and 1400 kilocalories for adult females. Okay, so by assuming these things, okay, by assuming these things, okay, by assuming the total body surface areas, okay, so we had correlated here. So in the previous slide we had said, yeah, this is the thing. So BMI values are expressed as kilocalories per square meter of body surface per hour in adults. Okay, so this is what they are saying, assuming the total body surface area are 1.8 square meter and 1.6 square meters respectively. We're just comparing with males and females. Clear? This is the thing this is the thing which behind this. Okay, so and then these are some of the applications of BMR. Number one is nothing but to determine the to determine the diseases. For example, so to diagnose the diseases such as thyroid. Okay, so if our BMR is getting affected, so already we discussed, right? So thyroid hormones has a vital role in the metabolism. Okay, so it will directly affect the metabolism of the human body, thyroid hormones. And then during hypothyroidism what happens, BMR will be lowered, while in hyperthyroidism it is elevated because of the action of T3 T4 and, yeah, because of the action of T3 T4 and TSH. Yeah, and then, yeah, because they are the thyroid hormone T3 T4. Yeah, and then BMR is used in calculating caloric requirements of an individual and planning of diets. Okay, this is a clinical application of BMR. And then next important one is nothing but SDA. SDA is nothing but specific dynamic action of food. It is otherwise known as the thermogenic effect. Now the definition. This is the energy expended in the digestion, absorption, and storage and subsequent processing of food. This is the energy expended in the digestion, absorption, and storage and subsequent processing of food. Okay, so the energy which is expended to digest the food, absorb the food, and store the food, okay, and processing the food, okay, this energy, okay, this energy is nothing but SDA. This is a, sorry, yeah, this is the, this is the definition for SDA. Okay, so and then this is called thermogenic effect of food. Okay, thermogenic effect is nothing but, so thermo means heat, so the heat will be released, okay, so heat will be synthesized, okay, from the food, because these energy requiring process to generate heat, okay, so this is the energy expended in the digestion, absorption, and storage of subsequent processing of food. And then this is called thermogenic effect of food. Why? Because of this energy requiring process generate heat. That's why it is known as thermogenic effect of food. Okay, and then this thermogenic effect of food is equivalent to what amount? It will be equivalent to about 5 to 10% of total energy expenditure. So that, take a note of it, that's this thermogenic effect of food is equivalent to about 5 to 10% of total energy expenditure. And then this was originally attributed to the metabolism of protein metabolism. So okay, so protein metabolism, so it was termed as specific dynamic action. Okay, this was basically attributed only with metabolism and processing of proteins. So okay, that's why they had given the name specific dynamic action or SDA, but it is now recognized as an effect of produced by the consumption of all right dietary fuels, which includes all the things, so which includes proteins, carbohydrates, lipids, and everything. Okay, so the consumption of protein produces the greatest energy loss compared to fats and carbohydrates. That's why we had mentioned in the previous slide over there. Okay, so that's why they'll be calling it as solely attributed for the processing of proteins. Okay, so okay, this is the reason. I mean, this is the point which explains the consumption of protein produces the greatest energy loss compared to fat or carbohydrates. Okay, so thermogenic effect of food will be like proteins will be having 20 to 20% to 30% of intake, and the fats will be like 2.5 to 4 percentage of intake, and carbohydrates will be about 5 to 6 percentage of intake. Okay, it varies considerably from individual to individual. Okay, because different, I mean, everyone will be having different dietary patterns and different I mean muscle mass, and the metabolism will be differing. Okay, and then the next topic is nothing but a balanced diet. So what is a balanced diet? Okay, so balanced diet is defined as one. Okay, so which contains because we'll be using variety of foods to eat, but we are not taking in the I mean, we are not taking in that particular proportion. This is a reason behind this. So what is a balanced? If you are intaking any food, if you should have to intake everything in a balanced way. Okay, so everything should have to be there, which includes carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, and minerals, and then everything should be in the proportion. Okay, okay, correct proportion, and then only it is known as balanced diet. Okay, now the definition: a balanced diet is nothing but the diet one which contains a variety of food. Okay, in which such quantities and proportions that are needed for energy, amino acids, vitamins, minerals, fats, carbohydrates, and other nutrients inadequately met for maintaining health. Okay, so if that energy is there, with that we can perform all the activities adequately. Okay, so which includes maintaining health, which includes maintaining health, vitality and general well-being, and also makes a small provision for extra nutrients to withstand short duration of illness. Okay, so if illness happens, which doctor will stand for sometimes. Okay, so and then so our ICMR had suggested some balanced diet. So okay, we can look into this. What is that ICMR suggested balanced diet? Okay, so the dietary pattern varies widely in different parts of the world. In generally developing and developed countries, according to that, so okay, it is generally developed according to by that instructions from the ICMR. Okay, they have developed this one. Okay, so number one is nothing but the kinds of food produced which depends on the climatic conditions of the region, and second one is nothing but economic capacity, and third one is nothing but religion, and fourth one is nothing but customs, and the fifth one is nothing but taste and habit of the food of the people. Because first one, the kinds of food produce, because so many people will be producing that for example, some people will be having the food items to be having more amount of ghee, okay, which will be prepared with large amount of geese. And then in case of economic capacity, if you're too rich, you'll be intaking all all type of costly foods, which includes pista badam and everything like that. And then in case of religion, okay, so each religion will be having a separate food, separate diet plans. For example, in case of this is at Ramzan time, right? So most of our Muslim friends will be fasting over there. So due to that, what happens? Their diet plan will be changed, and then customs, the same thing, and taste and habits of the people. Okay, this is a diet chart for 5-year-old child, a balanced diet chart for a 5-year-old child. So meal early morning. So this is how we are split this. So for the meals when we have to take, and then food when we have to take, and then amount. Okay, for example, early morning. So milk with sugar amount will be like 200 ml. This is for 5-year-old child. Okay, and then breakfast. What we should have to give during the breakfast time, so paratha with curd or egg and bread. And then what amount you should have to give: one paratha or one egg and two slices of bread. And mid morning, what you should have to give: a fruit or fruit juice. Okay, so one fruit, okay, one fruit or to one glass of juice. If you are giving fruit, that should be like only one. If you are giving juice, that will be like only one glass. Lunch. So for the lunch, what you should have to give: so rice with mixed vegetables, curd, chapati. Okay, so amount, so how much amount you should have? If it is a rice, it will be like a small plate. Okay, a small kachori, half kachori, like one or two chapati. Okay, evening tea, milk plus biscuit. Okay, so amount, you should have to consume 150 ml of water, sorry, 150 ml of milk with less water, 150 ml of milk with less water, and 4 to 6 biscuits. Okay, and then next one is nothing but during dinner. So for the dinner, you should have to take dal, chapati, salad. Okay, so at what amount? It will be like one kachori or two kachori. Okay, one kachori minimum. Like, and then chapati. If you are taking chapati, that will be like two. So bedtime. So if you're before going to the bed, you should have to have a fruit custard or like one kachori. Yeah, this is for a child, and then this is for adults. So balanced diet plans for adults. So what we should have to take? So we should have to take whole grains. We should have to take vegetables. We should have to take meat, egg and beans and oils. So and then we should have to take fruits, and then we should have to take dairy 3 cups. Okay, what we should have to take, in what amount we should have to take, we will discuss in this slide. Okay, for whole grains, so for breakfast we should have to take cereals. So okay, so and then we can take rice. Okay, rice in that afternoon, and then we can have pasta, bread and noodles. Okay, so in case of vegetables, so if you're intaking vegetables, that should be like 2.5 to 3.5 cups. Okay, so what are the vegetables you should have to take? So you should have to take tomatoes, potatoes, carrots, green peas and broccoli, like 2.5 to 3.5 cups daily. Okay, so in case of if you're egg eaters or vegetarians or non-vegetarians, okay, you should have to take 5.5 to 6.5 ounces of egg or meat. Okay, if you're intaking oils, okay, that should be like 27 to 37 grams. That should be about 27 to 37 grams. Why? Because this you should have to maintain the diet, and then they should have to contain, I mean, they should have to contain a less fat. If you're taking more amount of fat, that will be going for storage, and then that will be going to so many clinical complications. And number one, so you should have to consider this one: the meat which is containing low fat. Okay, so the meat will be basically that will be having high fat. So you should have to, if you are intaking that meat, that should contain a low fat. Okay, you should not go for red meat, you should go for white meat. And then low fat mayonnaise, you should not take, you should not go for high fat mayonnaise. Okay, so and then you should have to go for low fat mayonnaise. And next one is nothing but light salad dressing, and third one is nothing but vegetable oil, and fourth one is nothing but olive oil. And then low calorie foods. So these are the most important things in case of, yeah, meat, egg and beans and oils is concerned. And then next one is nothing but fruits. So how much of fruits you should have to take? You should have to take 1.5 to 2 cups of fruits per day. So which may be the like the combination of bananas, grapes, oranges, peaches, mangoes, pineapples and berries. And next one is nothing but dairy. So what all the dairy products we should have to intake. So number one is nothing but milk, number two is nothing but yogurt, number three is nothing but cheese. Okay, daily 3 cups of milk, yogurt or cheese. And then a balanced diet suggested by ICMR, adult man, for adult men and adult women. So here, mm, adult man, for adult man, what you should have to take. Okay, for adult woman, what you should have to take. For adult men, cereals, pulses, leafy vegetables and other vegetables we are split it into two columns. So food items will be like, we are given 7 to 8 food items, and then what amount that adult men and women should have to take. Okay, adult men should have to take uh, what amount, and adult women should undertake in what amount. So okay, what is the quantity behind this? Okay, cereals. If you're comparing the cereals, right? So like that will be the more when you're comparing to other things. Okay, so that will be like 460. Okay, 460, and pulses will be like 40 grams per day. Cereals will be like 460 grams per day. Okay, and then leafy vegetables like 40 grams per day, and other vegetables is like 60 grams per day. So like roots and tubers 50 grams per day, and then milk 150 grams per day. Oil and fat will be like 40 grams per day, and then sugar, yeah, sugar and jaggery will be 30. So like this chart had been prepared based on their working ability. I mean, sedentary workers will be having more amount of, will be intaking more amount of these items. Okay, because they're working a lot. Okay, so just look into the chart. Okay, so and then diet for healthy pregnancy. So diet for healthy pregnancy, which includes, yeah. So, what are the food items that a healthy pregnant woman should have to intake? So, they should have to intake a more amount of bread, rice, cereal, and pasta. And then, after that, they should have to intake a more amount of vegetables and fruits. And third thing, they should have to intake of a small less amount of dairy products which contain some amount of proteins over there. And then they should have to occasionally take that oils, fats and sugars. Okay, in this way they should have to follow their diet in case of healthy pregnancy. Okay, and then during pregnancy and lactation some additional food is required. Okay, so and then for non-vegetarians, ICMR has recommended substitution of a part of pulses by animal food. We can look at it. Okay, so these are the five healthy food for diabetes. So what are the dietary charts, and then what are the diet materials which have to follow the persons who are in diabetes, and then the persons who are having obesity, we can see one by one. Okay, first we look into this one. What are all the five healthy foods for diabetics patients? So number one is nothing but vegetables, fruits, and other plant foods. Okay, and then number second is nothing but lean protein. You should not go for heavy proteinous diet. You should have to go for lean protein diet, which includes badam, pista, and then egg and chicken, like that. Okay, and then unsaturated omega-3 fatty acids, because omega-3 fatty acids plays a vital role in case of metabolism over there. And then if you're intaking unsaturated omega-3 fatty acids, so you just think about that coconut oils. Okay, as a most important thing. So coconut oil will be having more amount of omega-3 unsaturated fatty acids. And then liquids. So liquids includes juices, and then water, green tea. Okay, green tea. Okay, and then fifth one is nothing but whole grains. Okay, whole grains, which includes, yeah, whole grains in the sense, be it that brown rice, yeah, like that. It's nothing but whole grains. So these are the five healthy food items for diabetics patients, which includes vegetables and fruits and other plant foods. Second is nothing but lean protein. Third one is nothing but unsaturated omega-3 fatty acids. And then fourth one is nothing but liquids. And fifth one is nothing but organic whole grains. Okay, so what are the dietary food items that if the persons will be having cardiovascular disease should have to take? And number one is nothing but so if you are intaking this one, if you are intaking these things, if you are intaking these vegetables, legumes, fish, fruits, olive oil, whole grain nuts, and then these things, right? So what happens? This will increase. Okay, so increase the prevention rate. Okay, increase the prevention rate of cardiovascular diseases. And then surely you should have to intake olive oil 80 grams per day. Okay, nuts you should have to intake 30 grams per day. And then you should have to restrict the time. You should have to restrict the time of eating, like 11 to 12 hours. And then periodic fasting, like anemic diet, you should have to be increased. You should have to keep on with these things. And then if you have to increase that exercises, doing exercises time, and the time of doing exercise should be increased. Okay, and then what are the things you should have to avoid? So you should have to avoid red meat. Okay, beef, pork, like that. And then you should have to avoid sugar. Okay, you should not to take sugar more than 10 grams. You should not to take sugar more than 10 grams per day. And then dairy. Okay, and then protein should be like, you should have to intake as per your body weight. Okay, so it will be less than 0.36 gram per pound of body weight. Okay, you should have to calculate that you should have to calculate the body weight, and then you should have to put the ratio in case of proteins intake. Okay, so after that you should have to go for eating. And then you should have to avoid of intaking saturated and trans fats. And then you should have to avoid intake of frequent meals. Okay, some people will be having 5 to 6 meals per day. So you should have to avoid these things. And then overweight and obesity, and stress, these things you should have to avoid to prevent the cardiovascular diseases. And then these things you should have to increase to prevent these items you should have to increase to prevent the cardiovascular diseases. To prevent, okay, these items you should have to increase, you should have to intake these items to prevent the cardiovascular diseases. Okay, and then for treatment, so for treatment, what you should have to do? Okay, so longevity diet. So longevity diet in the sense vegan or slash pescatarian plant based diet. And then no dairy, you should not take any dairy. And then low fruits and fruit juices. And fish and extra virgin olive oils. And then you should have to go for fish with legumes, like fish and extra virgin olive oil. And then you should have to take grains, legumes, lentils, and vegetables. Okay, and then you should have to intake walnuts and hazelnuts and almonds. Okay, no caloric restrictions except overweight and obese. If the person is having any overweight and obese, right, they should have to go for caloric restrictions. Okay, so and then you should have to restrict your time of eating. For example, you should have to intake your food 11 to 12 hours once. You should not intake 3 hours once, 4 hours once. And 60 percentage of, you should have to intake 60 percentage of carbohydrate in your diet. And then you should have to include 30 percentage of fat in your diet. And then you must have to include 10% of proteinous substance in your diet. Okay, so what about Ornish diet? So Ornish diet is nothing but vegetarian diet. Okay, so which includes 10 percentage of calories as fat. Okay, and then 15 to 20 percentage of protein and 70 to 75% predominantly complex carbohydrates. Here the carbohydrates will be the major, so like 70 to 75%. No caloric restrictions, and then that will be lasting, okay, more than 1 year. Okay, so and then SL stain diet. SL stain diet is nothing but vegetarian diet. So you should not include fish, oil, or dairy. So you should have to consume grains, legumes, lentils, vegetables, and fruits. And then there is no caloric restrictions in this diet. Okay, so everybody will be following that longevity diet. So some people may follow the Dornish diet, but most of the people will not follow this SL stains diet. And then disorders. So as we all know, so many nutritional disorders are out there. If you're breaking that balanced diet, so and then we know what all things will be occurring to our body. So unbalanced diet is not consumed by a person for a sufficient length of time. What happens? It leads to nutritional deficiencies or disorders. Okay, so and then that condition is nothing but malnutrition, as we all know. So the most common nutritional disorders are protein energy malnutrition and protein caloric malnutrition, protein energy malnutrition, and protein caloric malnutrition. Okay, so okay, I think that had been classified into Vashikar and marasmus. So we can discuss about all the things in the next class.